Hello, everyone. I'm Keith DeStone, and I'm here with Lenny Milner, Emeritus
Ready?
Professor of Classics Brandeis, Emeritus lots of things from the Center for Hellenic Studies. And today we're going to talk about the Scaife Viewer. That's a new feature of Perseus. And first of all, Lenny, am I saying that correctly?
Well, it's
Scaife.
eventually going to replace Perseus, right? It's the next version of Perseus, if you will. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So it's still in development, very much so. Okay. And nothing in it is finished. But eventually the old Perseus, which is software that's really aging, and if you've tried to use it lately, you'll notice that it's having trouble because it's not
Mm-hmm.
scaling up well to the increased demand that the quarantining has inflicted upon it. It
Right.
crashes and
Right.
other things, but the newer system will presumably be more robust as well as feature more in the way of content,
Mm-hmm.
right? Yeah,
Oh, that's going to be great.
yeah,
Let's see. So this is going to be a little demo.
yeah.
And I am not all that familiar with it, I have to say. I have to confess that I haven't used it very much. Um,
Which is ideal, right? What you want to
which
do
is
is
for this
appeal
kind
to
of thing, yes.
the person who hasn't played around with it. You don't want me to show it to you.
Exactly. So I think that I'm sharing my screen now
Yep,
successfully,
yep. I
hopefully.
see it beautifully. Yep.
And I'm going to move this window down here where I can see it a little bit better.
Now I just see the banner at the top of the window. Does that mean, oh, that's better probably for your users, right?
Okay, I see. I have two monitors going on here, and Zoom doesn't like
Okay.
that.
Okay, that gives
All
the
right.
biggest view of the screen.
Okay, so here we go. This is the home page
Right,
of the viewer.
right.
And I'm just going to click browse.
Okay. One thing that you can just on the home page, there's a description of what this is about the
Mm-hmm.
Scaife Viewer and recent changes. And it's really changing what's in here. Okay. For example, the banner also doesn't say that there are things in other languages besides Greek and Latin, and there are,
Mm,
right, as you know.
yes.
If you read more, you'll learn about the relationship between what's in Perseus and what's here. And there are
Okay.
places where they don't overlap. In other words, there are things that are in Perseus that are not here that should be. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so this is not a perfect substitute. Okay, but for basic works,
Okay.
it's something to play with. Okay,
Mm-hmm. But those
so
things will be here eventually, is the idea.
exactly.
Okay. So browsing gives you a whole list, a
Yep,
giant list. I won't even try to scroll through it all.
yep.
Um,
So you can do text group is a technical term. See, it says text group,
okay, yeah.
CTS, URN, and work. Okay, you can put in an author's name, okay, or a title. Those
That,
should work. Text group is a technical term for a bunch of texts that are grouped under a certain rubric. Okay,
mm-hmm.
so for example, the corpus of Plato, or the corpus of Greek veterinarians or stuff like that. Okay, so they include various things.
Okay, and that's the default view here.
Yeah,
We're
the
currently
default
sorted
view
by,
here is that's what those TLG numbers, the single TLG numbers, respond to. So
okay.
in that list, you don't need to know all that technical mumbo jumbo. Okay, if it freaks you out, don't let it freak you out. Okay,
Okay, yeah.
you
Good, I'll
can just
try.
deal with authors and titles. Okay,
Okay, and I've never actually pressed on this, but if I press on CTS URN,
it'll get you a very interesting different view because it's doing them alphabetically by those
by
URNs,
these,
right?
I see.
So you
Right,
can see that there are things in Hebrew and Persian and other languages as well as Greek and Latin.
right. Okay, all right. I'm going back to
Text group is probably
text group.
that's the default. Okay,
So I wanted to do a little bit of Hebrew and Greek,
okay,
if possible,
okay,
during this walkthrough. So I'm going to choose, let's see, let's do Greek first, I
okay,
suppose.
okay.
So I'm going to start typing Septuagint,
Okay.
and I don't even have to type the whole thing. It knows
No, exactly.
what I'm looking for. So I'm going.
So when what you're seeing there, you see the title, and then you see GRC. Okay, that means that's the XML name for Greek. Okay, so it tells you what edition that is if you mouse over it.
Okay, it's saying to me this is a Greek edition of this work.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
If there were other languages available,
it would tell you that too.
In the Septuagint collection.
Right, exactly.
Which there wouldn't be because that's a Greek collection by default.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, for other works, if there are English and French and German, there are translations in multiple languages in this collection, you would get another little thing for the different language versions that exist. Okay. But let's stick with, you pick with whatever you want. Okay. I think if you do Hippolytus, you see you've got two Greek texts.
2 Greek versions.
Yep. Okay. Well, that's Hippolytus. That's not the Euripides.
Not the one that I like.
Yes. Let's see. So
no, I don't see that one in here.
Yeah, it just got uploaded into the GitHub repository last week, and it's not yet up here, but it will be. Okay.
Okay. But here I'm hovering over the Trojan Women,
you can see and English and Greek.
There's a Greek and an English edition.
And you find out which one it is. Okay.
Okay.
So let's go back to Septuagint.
My favorites here.
Okay.
Deuteronomy, and here we just have the Greek version available.
Right.
Okay, so what are we looking at? Obviously, the text is in the middle.
Right. You can expand the text. You can on the right hand side. Okay, the top corner is mumbo jumbo, but when it says text mode, let's go through these just for the sake of it. Text mode is normal and highlight. Normal is just what you're looking at. If you select this, you can copy it and paste it into a document, and you'll get exactly what you see. If you click highlight, it goes into parsing mode. Okay, and see now down below there's a highlight box that opened up. So if you select a word, any word in the Greek text, okay, it'll appear there. Okay,
right.
And it doesn't seem to be working, but yes, below there it tells you what it is. Okay, it gives you its form. Okay, the possible forms, and it gives you a basic definition. Okay, the word is not a especially good definition of logos. Okay, and it's not contextual. It's not a contextual definition. It's just a random one-word definition. So one of the big lacks in this current tool is a real robust dictionary. It doesn't have LSJ or good New Testament or Koine Greek dictionary. Okay,
right.
But that's coming. All right.
So for now, just glosses, basic glosses.
Yeah, exactly. So scroll back up to the top again. Okay, and if you click on normal, okay, I think that's fine, and you can adjust the size of the text in the next thing.
Oh yeah.
Okay, and you can make it smaller or bigger depending on how much you want to see, and you can also make the width of the column bigger or smaller. Okay, so you can make it narrower. Now, nothing is happening because you don't have enough screen real estate. But for example, if you click on the arrow on the left going arrow under the word Scaife Viewer, will get you some more room. Okay,
over that left column.
All right, and then you can adjust the width. Okay, so then you're getting narrower.
I don't know.
Or it doesn't seem to be working.
It all seems to be the same. Maybe I can get a little extra by stretching the window.
Well, that's weird that it's not doing it. Well, anyway, it should.
Bug report.
Yeah. It usually works. Okay, this is a part of this experience. Okay, not everything is perfect. All right.
Okay, so here we come to the highlight box again, which we already talked about.
And if you want to click on text, see what happens to your screen. There's a text, just a plain text version of those lines. Okay.
Okay.
Of exactly what you got. If you hit the back arrow, you'll get back to where you were, and if you hit XML, you get the marked up version. Okay, nice. Which is a lot more complicated, but that's just for one line. You can export. I'll show you how, a whole section of a work if you want.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, that would be great.
all of these things, all of the texts are free of copyright and free to you. Okay, so you can take
Hmm.
them and do whatever you want with them. Okay,
Hmm. Nice.
this is an important thing. It's not like the TLG, for example, where they'll come at you with lawyers and stuff like that if you start using their texts. Okay.
Okay, good.
All right.
We're all safe here.
Yes. Okay.
So one question about exporting.
Yeah.
Do I have to have the text visible in the main
So it
window?
exports what you see.
Exports what
Okay.
you see. Okay.
Is what the way it works. Okay. So you're only seeing one verse, right? Which
Hmm.
is kind of a weird thing, but you can change that too. If you go to the arrow, put the arrow back. Yeah, click on that arrow.
So, okay,
Okay.
now the left
Now
sidebar
this
here.
is a thing that's annoying to some people. If you wanna move forward and backward in the text, okay,
Hmm.
there's a simple way and a more complicated way. Say you want to see more of this particular context. All right.
Hmm.
In other
Okay.
words, what comes after, this is the verse 1, chapter
Chapter
1,
one.
verse. So if you click in the box where it says passage reference 1.1, okay, and then you
Hmm.
type a dash, and then you do 1.4, okay, and hit a
Press
return,
enter.
it'll show you the next 4 verses, okay?
Okay, that's
All right.
easy.
Yeah, that is relatively easy, okay? The
What
other thing
happens
you
if I
can,
choose too many verses? There aren't 100 verses in the first chapter.
it'll tell you, okay, what that it can't resolve, and it can go up to
Okay.
46. You
Okay.
like that?
That's smart.
If you say, if you give it a big number, I don't know how many chapters there are in Deuteronomy, but if you say 30.4, it'll put that whole thing too, okay?
Okay.
In other words, you can make the text display as much as you want, and then if you do that, you say you wanted to get a copy of the text up to chapter 30, verse 4, okay? Now, once it's displayed, okay, once it's finished
I was thinking about it here.
dotting, doing its dots and stuff, I'm not sure how many chapters there are in
There are
Deuteronomy.
34.
Okay.
So we're in safe territory here.
It's taking too long. I'm not sure why. Should we try doing a
Interesting.
smaller chunk?
Yeah, let's try that. This page is unresponsive for the
Oh,
moment.
it says that it's unresponsive someplace. Yeah.
Oh yeah, there was a little kind of pop-up.
Okay.
Oh,
So
it's so
click on that.
unresponsive that I can't even
You can't
select.
scroll on it. All right. So hit the resource button up there in the upper left-hand corner of your browser. That one. Yeah.
Oh, it just
Oh, it
solved
just
it.
brought you
Just
the whole thing. Okay, great. Okay.
yeah.
It was
So
it was retrieving it all.
there's
Okay.
a lot of text here.
There's a lot of text here. Now, for example, if you went to the export button and you hit export, you'd get this whole thing. Okay. If you went to export text, right there it
Okay.
all is.
Wow.
That's kind of unwieldy,
Very unwieldy.
but at least it's better than nothing. Maybe, I don't know.
I'm not sure. This is really
Yeah, this
interesting.
is the output. I can report this that the output is really strange. Okay, but anyhow,
Okay. But I think people can get the idea at
you
least
get
of
the idea.
how it ought to work
But that's
from
how you can
that.
get a text if you want to work on it on your own machine and at your own pace.
Mm-hmm.
So now we're going back to the.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can also play with that. Okay, with that, there's what you're seeing in your browser URL address there is there are 2 TLG numbers. The first is the work group and the second is the work. So TLG 0527 is Septuagint and TLG 005 is Deuteronomy. Okay,
Right.
so if you do dot, if you type, it's retrieving the whole thing again.
Oh, the whole thing.
If you
Right.
type in dot, okay, but anyhow, whoops,
Dots
1.1 or
1.1.
it'll get just the first, whoops, maybe.
Oh, let's start this again.
Yeah, let's start again.
And we'll observe.
Okay.
what
Yep. Okay.
the URL is here.
Okay. So there's
So there's
our,
some more complicated URL for
yeah,
the
it
first
looks like, so you've got
verse.
highlights that set, you need to have a colon after the work name.
I
It
see.
looks like, as well as op-grc. So that was my
Okay,
mistake.
so I thought I was
But
being
anyway,
smart
yeah,
editing the
it's
URL,
you're
but
better off using the passage reference thing to change what you see. So you hit a dash and do 1.4, and then we get the whole of those four
there are four
verses.
verses here.
Okay. Um, okay. What else?
So that was one way to navigate, and I don't remember
Exactly.
whether was that the
No,
simpler
there's
or the
another.
complicated way.
That's a relatively difficult way. There's a simpler way. If you move your mouse over to the right or the left, you'll see that's a way to go
Oh,
forward.
I
Okay,
see.
or backwards if you could go backwards. But since you're the
But in this
beginning, you
work,
can't go backwards.
okay.
Okay, but if you go forward, you get the next verse.
Oh,
Verse
interesting. So
1
it
through
shows the
5
next
to
group
1
of
through 8.
four.
Yes, exactly. It'll get the increments that you've set, which is
Okay,
nice. Okay. So if you don't want to just see one verse, you can say, okay, I want to say 4 verses or 10 verses, and it'll keep on showing you 10 verses at a time.
right.
Okay.
Nice.
So be intelligent about that. And you can see how it's displaying where you are. If you move the mouse over a little closer, it
Oh
gives you
yeah,
the chapter and the verse number.
and the
There,
verse.
that's there.
But that stuff doesn't show up until your
Unless you mouse
cursor is
over it.
there.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Okay. All right.
All right. Let's see here. Are we done with things in the right-hand
So
column?
let's scroll down a little bit. And so it says in highlight mode, you can select a word to get morphological analysis. This is the same parser that you have in Perseus. It tries to figure out what form a given word is. So if you select a
I'm
word,
going to
if
go
you
back into
go
highlight
back
mode
into
here.
highlight mode, select some word there, okay, and then it appears and it tells you what are the 3 possibilities for it, and it gives you a basic glossary definition,
Right.
a mountain or hill, and it tells you, it gives you the frequency of the word per 1,000 words.
Okay.
That's
In this
18.9
work.
in this work, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, which is kind of cool, but
Yeah.
if you scroll down some more, you see some more things.
Oh,
Can you?
that's all I can in this.
All right. Okay.
There was more when I didn't have a word highlighted.
Yeah, exactly. So switch back to normal mode.
Okay, so I can't unhighlight. I have to just kind of switch
Yeah,
back.
you have to switch back, exactly.
Okay.
And then you've got the word list and the morphology. I think that's it. Yeah, there aren't any. There aren't more things here.
Somehow the
Yeah.
last word was still
It's still showing up as.
just as if we're focusing on, as if we still have Oros highlighted.
Huh, let's see. Can you scroll back to it? It separates it out, but once you switch out of highlight mode, it should go back to being in regular mode. In other words, formatted correctly.
Right. No, I don't see that happening.
Now something funny is happening. Try sourcing it again. This is weird. Try hitting the, yeah, there you go.
This thing. Yeah.
No, yeah, or the button in the upper left hand corner, the circular arrow up above there, that one.
Oh, I see. Right.
See if you can get it again.
Okay. Now we have the whole word list, yeah, for these 4 verses.
Okay, great. Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay,
so that's nice to have. It's basic definitions, but it's helpful, right?
So dictionary forms
for the whole
glosses and frequencies.
Yep, exactly. Okay.
Nice. Okay, great.
Okay, so you actually can use this interface to read. Okay, in kind of basic ways. All right.
Okay, so I know with the old Perseus, you would double click or even just single click on a word and it would be hyperlinked to this kind of parsing information.
Right.
But here you use highlight mode.
You use highlight mode because you have a way of being able to have just a plain text view, so you can select and copy a text without getting, if you copy a text in highlight mode, you'll get a lot more information along with it. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah, than you want. Okay. You'll get a lot of junk.
Okay.
let's see, what else? There's a
see.
text search over on the left, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And when
Okay.
you're text search inside a work, it searches only inside a work, okay? So for example, if you can copy and paste a word in there or type something in Greek, you don't have to type with accents, okay? But you should use a Greek font just because
Oh, okay.
it's safer, okay?
Let's
So
see.
type a word,
We'll use a very common one.
okay? So it's going to find all
Actually,
the
you know, that's
examples
going to
of
be
it.
a
Too long, though. Yeah, there's too
too
many.
many.
Yes. Okay. It's gonna try something else.
Let's see. How about river?
Yeah, you don't have to have accents. Huh. So
Interesting.
if you're giving that form, it's not showing. See, there's a little button to the right of form. It should say lemma there, but that'll
Oh,
find
okay.
all the forms of it. Okay. If you type patamos, it'll only find the nominative singular masculine form. Okay.
Oh, okay. So
But
that
there it'll
was,
fill all the
it doesn't
inflected
occur
form. That doesn't occur in your text,
this
okay?
form,
But
right?
if you hit this one, the lemma, you'll get the two chapter and verses where it does occur. If you click on those, okay, it'll take you to them and highlight the word,
Okay.
okay?
Nice.
And vice versa. There you have it twice.
Right. Okay. So how about if I
Okay,
wanted to go back to the text I was in?
okay,
Um,
so so now you probably hit the arrow up in the left to get back up there.
this one up here?
No, not that one, but the one in your browser.
Oh, the actual back button.
Yeah, I think that'll
Right.
do it. Keep going. There.
Okay. Here
Yeah.
we are back at verses 5 through 8 of chapter 1.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
Here's a question.
Yep. Go ahead.
Actually, what if I wanted to look at Hebrew alongside this? Could I juxtapose two editions?
So you need more room on your screen, but you can do that. Okay.
Okay, let me,
hit the arrow. Yeah, make it smaller. Okay,
let's see if that's small enough.
Yeah.
Hopefully people can still see this, but
Yeah.
all right, so let's hope this works. What should I do to add a column?
You should be able to have something come up. Let's see. Hold on. I'm not sure why it isn't. Give me a second. Let me look on mine. But it should ask you if you want to add another column. I'm not sure why it isn't. Give me a sec.
Sure. I'll play around here.
I think it will only prompt you if there's another version of the same text that it knows is a translation. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So unless you have a secondary, I'll show you how this works with something else, but I think you can't bring up another text that it doesn't know from its encoding, that it belongs to the same work group.
Okay, so even though there is a Hebrew version of Deuteronomy in here,
yes, yeah,
the viewer itself is not aware yet.
Yeah, that's
they're the same
an
text.
important thing. Okay, let me write that down too. Okay, show random parallel version, which would be a good thing to do. I mean, the idea I think is that of the way it works. Yeah, there's the Hebrew Bible version.
There's the Hebrew one.
There are
and
two
there's
of them.
actually
There's a continental and appointed one, right?
Yeah, so no vowels. Oops.
Yeah.
And
appointed one has the vowels, right?
Right, exactly.
And there you can add a parallel version, which is the one without the vowels. You see where it says add a parallel version?
Right. Here's the prompt. So
yeah, exactly. So he'll allow
gives
you
me
this consonantal text, okay, if you for reference, and it's
Okay.
aligned. Do you see? That's the idea, is that it has text when it has translations. It tries to align the Greek and the English or whatever parallel text you have.
Right.
So it's a parallel text alignment that it's doing, not just any random one. Okay.
Okay.
But if you had a translation, it would try and align the verses and the chapters and stuff like that.
I'm just wondering here about
text search is
text
only
search.
working for Greek. It's only working for Greek.
Okay, well then I won't go there.
Yeah. Not yet. So we can ask them. I mean, in theory, I don't know why it can't. Okay, it should, because it's all Unicode. Why isn't it doing it? But it can't do lemmas for Greek, but it should be able to do a form. Yeah. Oh yeah, there
Oh,
it
here we
does.
go.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
great.
Yeah,
So
I don't
that
think
exact
it can't do
form
a lemma. I don't think, because
doesn't do
it
the
doesn't
lemma.
understand the grammar of Hebrew.
Okay, but specific forms it will look up
Yeah.
for you.
Yes, but there you go. That's nice, right?
Mm-hmm. Nice. Oh, interesting how it does the definite article here. It's separated because it's, I mean, a separate word.
Right.
From the noun it's attached to. But here
Is
you can
that a
see.
reasonable thing? Is the backslash there a spurious character, or is it something?
It's a little weird to look at. I have to say.
It's not a Hebrew character. That's
It's not a Hebrew character, right?
So it shouldn't really be there, right?
It shouldn't. No,
Yeah,
I wonder how
something's
it deals
wrong,
with
yeah.
other kinds of add-ons.
It seems to
Say
have them. It's separating the
pronominal suffixes, or
yeah, it's doing the vowels and the other things like that, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, let's see. What's a good passage where I can? Oops, I'm still in Hebrew, aren't I? 1 through. This should get us some interesting things here to look at. So this slash appears to set off the definite article, to set off, as you said, the vowels, the ands. Here it sets off the noun from the pronominal suffix. So my, mouth.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Weird.
Let's see, how about verbs? Verbal prefixes and suffixes.
Is this a feature, or it looks like it thinks it's doing a good thing as part of the pointing of the text? Is that not true? Have you ever seen anything like this?
I've never seen anything like it, and
that's interesting.
I don't find it helpful. To me, it looks like it's trying to divide lines of poetry.
Yeah, exactly. But it's a backslash and not a slash, which is the usual thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well,
all right. But anyhow, yeah.
So parallel versions, though, we learned that as long as the viewer knows that there's a parallel,
yes,
it can add it. So if I wanted to get rid of one of these,
you just do that and say remove column.
Okay, easy enough.
And you can go backwards and forwards.
Oh yeah.
Right, and you can search.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll search within. Now up on top there are ancestors and children. Do you see it?
Oh, I do, yeah.
If you click on children, okay, click on one of the numbers there, they're links, okay? So that'll get you verse 6.
Okay, or word 6.
Word 6 in verse 32, okay, it looks like, rather than verse, okay? If you go up to ancestors, it'll give you the whole verse. It looks, the whole chapter.
Whole chapter.
Yeah.
And it has 52 verses.
Yep.
So we'll click on one of the verses.
I'll give you an individual verse.
And then this verse has 8 words.
Yep. So you can get any one of the words highlighted. So do you see, this has to do with the way the markup is set up and the structure, the structured markup, okay?
Mm-hmm.
It depends the second word. On how the,
interesting. So it knows this is one word,
yes,
but it still divides the two elements.
Yep. So if you look on the CTS URN, okay, you can see that is a way to reference that one word. Okay, it's got verse 35 too. This is part of the beauty of the system.
So ancient Jewish literature, Hebrew Bible, Deuteronomy, Leningrad version, Codex.
Pointed, and then 32:5 and the second word, right?
It's pretty precise.
Yeah.
Let's see. It doesn't have, let's see. Oh, I'm not in highlight mode. So now I'm in highlight mode. Click on the first word there. So it doesn't have parsing information.
It doesn't have parsing information for Hebrew. That's right. Not yet.
Alas. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Let's see. So we've done parallel versions. Were there any other?
We've done some searching. We've seen how we can navigate within a text. you learned about highlight and normal mode,
Mm-hmm.
exporting passages, changing the width of the screen. Okay, you can
Mm-hmm.
make either the right or the left side column disappear. Okay, if you don't have
Right,
enough
with
real
these.
estate. Yep.
Right, exactly.
Yep. And how the children and the ancestors work varies from text to text. Okay, depends on how the markup is made. So it might be fun to look at another text and see how that works, like Plato or Homer or something, so you can see how you can navigate around. Yeah, pick something.
Plato. Oh, let's do this one.
Okay.
Doesn't matter. We want the Greek one.
Yep. Okay.
All right.
So
here.
Yep. So
I don't see that option right away.
Yeah,
the ancestor children.
Children. If you move forward in the text, if you hit the forward arrow, let's see, do we get a, interesting, why is it not showing up there? Huh. Let's see.
What did I do last time?
I'm trying to think, if we I guess in Plato, I think Plato, there isn't there, what you see is what you've got. Okay, there isn't any additional structure. Okay, and that's why. If we did, for example, books of Homer, okay, or the Republic, either the Republic, which has books, okay.
Okay, let's do that.
I bet we will be able to see something different. Yeah, see there you've got the ancestors, right? You see?
Okay,
so you've got 1, 3, 27. Okay, this is book 1. You can, if you click on the 1, you'll get the whole of book 1. It's going to take it a while, but there you are, and there are the different sections of it. Do you see?
I see. Right.
Okay. But for example, if you just had a poem that consists only of 50 lines, you would have no children, right? No ancestors.
It doesn't have specific line versification.
It's only a one-level structure. Okay.
Right. Okay. Let's see what other challenges.
You want to try the text search stuff a little bit? Should we look at that for a bit?
Yeah. Where should I go to find that?
Up in the top where your mouse is, there you have a choice between browse library and text search. It's there on every page. Okay. Okay. So you can search the whole corpus. Okay.
All right, Lenny, what's your favorite Greek word?
I don't know. Let's do something
unfair. I know.
Okay. Let's show a lemmatized search of a word that's not that common, like enepo. Have you got a Greek font? Epsilon, 2 news, epsilon, pi, omega. Okay, and now click on lemma. Okay, because in order to get a lemmatized search, you have to put in the form the first person singular of the present of a verb, for example, the root form, or of a noun, the nominative singular, of an adjective, the nominative singular, masculine, and so forth. Okay. So these are only for inflected words, obviously. Okay, you can't, if it's an uninflected word, it doesn't matter. Okay, but now hit a return, and let's see what we get.
Doesn't like that lemma.
Not interesting. Try one new, delete one n. Okay.
It's taking longer to think about this, which is promising.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so, 166.
So this is getting you interesting combinations of things, okay? So this is just so you see how the search works. You've got 17 pages of results. That was pretty fast. I went through the whole corpus, okay?
Wow. How
there's a
many
lot of
words? It's
stuff
millions
there.
of words.
Yes, lots of words, right? And you can see on the left, you hit see all. There's a scrolling list of all of the things there, right?
So these are all the
All the
right the sources
authors,
or text groups
all the
even.
text groups that have it.
So
So if you go
18
to
times in
Sophocles,
Sophocles, but
yes,
which works of Sophocles? It doesn't tell you that right away.
no, it'll show them to
But
you where you
now,
are, right? And it'll tell you the Draconii and the Oedipus Rex and so forth and so on.
mhm.
Okay.
And so it gets
There are the
the
forms
forms with
with,
two
if it's a lemma.
news.
So the lemma, the form with two news is a metrical lengthened form. So that's why it couldn't find them. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
If we told it to look for an epo as a form, it would have found it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
For example, that form, that version of the Oedipus.
So let me clear the
Yeah.
Sophocles selection.
Okay. So here's
And
another thing that you can do. Okay. Just with this. Okay.
mm-hmm.
All right, yeah, you get back to the whole long list, all right? And if you click on any one of those things that are in highlight mode, like the title of Pindar Scholia, okay, it'll take you to the scholion that has this discussion, okay, of this word.
Mm-hmm.
And it says that an iptone means legon,
Mm-hmm.
okay? And
Okay.
there are various, that's a textual commentary on the text, okay? Of something in a note of Pindar.
Nice. So I'll go back.
Yeah, if you go back up
Got
there, yeah, it takes you to your list, so you can scroll and you can get the whole list for any of the work groups.
How about this passages versus instances?
Okay, go see what happens. Okay, you just get the list of the places. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Without
So just
the text,
just the titles, as it were.
just the titles. Yes,
This list
exactly.
of titles.
Not sure that's very useful, but that's always nice to be able to see, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it helps you see in a more condensed fashion.
Yeah, but you can see what you got. The 166 titles have this word. Okay.
All right. So how about these?
All right. So let's try one. Put your cursor at the end of the word in the blank there, and delete the omega, and type in an asterisk. You probably have to change fonts.
Yeah. Back to English here.
Okay. So that says it. See, it says asterisk at the end of a term signifies a prefix query. So it'll find any word that has those 4 letters at the beginning, okay? But all kinds of things at the end, all right? So you want to, I'm not sure what happens if you do lemma. I think it'll only do form in this mode, but let's see what happens. All right.
So it got some results for us here.
That's weird.
So interesting.
Yeah, I don't think it made any. It got to an epo. If you go to form, you get something that's more interesting. Okay, that's just finding all the forms of an epo. But if you do this, where it's just going to get those letters and any example of a word that comes after it. Let's see what we get.
Okay. Wow, a lot more.
Yeah, this is, well, there you go. Anep impranta, and anep implanta, and so forth and so on. Lots of different words, right?
Right.
Okay.
Lots of different words.
But you could see that there are places where that might be useful. Okay. For example, you're looking for an inflection of a particular word and you're not sure which one it is or stuff like that. Okay.
Right. They're variant spellings.
Yeah. So that's the star thing. Okay. Let's see, if you do, if you change the asterisk, okay, to a tilde, okay, for a single word, see what it says, tilde with a number after a phrase signifies slop amount. That means how many spaces there are, but how many different words can be between the words. And after a word, it signifies edit distance. This is what's called elastic search, okay?
Okay.
So if you can put in 0, 1, or 2, okay? If you put in 1, you'll get a certain, like that, you'll get a certain, a restricted number of words that with various things, with various combinations of those letters. Not, it'll be pretty close to them, what you get, but let's show you what happens now. Switch to instances so we can see them. So there's that. Then you get Henneka as well as, so you've substituted for the pi a kappa. Do you understand?
Oh, so this formula says one of these letters can be different.
You can switch out one of the letters. Keep scrolling.
Wow.
Okay. And up. Okay. And
So
F is a phi. Okay. Do you like that? You get the idea?
I don't know yet how I would use it, but
well, yeah, it's good to know about though, because there are situations in which it comes in handy. I've done one recently even. Okay, but there you're going to get more variations. And now you're going to get an up, an F, an F, and a that's sooner or later you get more variations on the two words, two letters.
So I can only go up to 2 in this case.
You got exactly. It's 0, 1, or 2. Okay.
Okay, and 0 would be the same as.
I think it's no variation. It'd be like that. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So how about a phrase?
Yeah. Is there a phrase that comes to mind?
Oh, I don't know. I see a phrase right here.
Okay.
I'm going to
paste it in. Okay.
Paste it in and tilde.
Yep. And that'll give you, if you say slop amount, it means how many words you allow there to be between the two words that you've got. Okay,
so this search will find these two words that are separated by no words, one word, or two words.
Yeah, I think that's what it should do.
That was a pretty quick search.
Yeah,
for 7,000 results.
It's getting more.
Oh, this I guess counts as one word.
Yeah, and 2, but up above, yeah, I guess it's got esti de. Okay. If you between esti and de there are 2 words, right? But keep on going down. It's selecting things that are confusing the quality of the search, but it doesn't seem to be working perfectly. It's getting de esti and esti de. But this search is fast. Okay, this is one of the virtues of it. You can look for little words too, which is very tricky in Greek and sometimes very important, right? Like looking at particles, and it'll really find all the examples. You don't have to wait forever. Okay.
Right.
But the other thing that you can do, okay, so that's slop amount. Precedence, I don't know how precedence works, but that's something to play with. The other things on the left-hand side, and if you get rid of the tilde and the 2, okay, and you put in a plus sign between esti and de, no, between the 2 words, okay, it means just those 2. So see what happens, okay?
So these 2 words appearing anywhere within a text.
Yep.
A delimitation of text.
Yeah, exactly. So it's pretty broad, and
it's a very broad search. So if you need more than 2 words between them, I guess you could use this
you could put a tilde and you might be able to put a tilde and a 0 there. See what happens if at the end you put a tilde and a 0. What do we get then? Look like it's working.
Yeah, I would expect results like this.
Yeah, exactly.
It
doesn't seem to be working well. All right. Try removing the plus sign and just leaving a space there. Still the same. Yeah, it seems imperfect.
Interesting.
Yeah. All right.
All right, good to know.
Yeah, and an or, you understand that. If you can
I'll find one or the other.
Yeah, find one or the other, and you can have a string with some words that are ored and some words that are and. Okay, in other words, you could have 3 words, and 2 of them would be or. You could have esti with de or men, for example. Do you know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah. So this has found passages with both in some cases.
Yes. It seems to be doing the same thing over
That
and
one's
over
not
again, but
working either.
way this is a lot.
Right. Well, how about the or?
Yeah.
So esti and de
De
or
men.
let's see. Where's my Greek?
You don't need to put in accents, okay? Your example has it.
Good,
Okay,
because I
let's see
don't
what happens. Yep, let's see what
know
we
those
get.
very well.
Yeah. It's tricky because if using, it's better to avoid apostrophes and accents because sometimes the people's fawns do funny things with them. Well, there you've got men, esti, and esti.
So it's
men, esti,
adding men to the mix.
Yep.
Here.
Yep.
In this case, we have passages that have occurrences of both.
Yep.
As it happens.
Yep. Okay.
Okay.
Let's
see. Negates a single token. So if we
say you don't
want a certain word, we would just kind of add that in here and say.
Exactly. You don't want oo. Okay.
Right.
Because you got ook there. Say without ook. See if it makes the first example. I think you need to have it be closer to the there. Okay, now let's see what happens if it. See, then we don't get the first one we had before. Right?
Good.
That works.
And
okay.
The quotation marks, I think.
Yeah, that's
pretty
useful.
intuitive.
It tells you what goes together, right? Yeah.
So if you want an exact phrase.
Exactly. So if we wanted just to see esti de, we put quote the space and then the quotes around the two of them, and it would just get only those two words next to each other. That's the way to do that.
Let's see how this goes.
There you go.
Here we go. This one's working well.
Yeah. All right. So it's really, here's one last thing that you can do, which I find extremely useful. You can do a lemmatized search for a couple of words, okay? So for example, if you type in Laos, L-A-O-S, and then the verb ago, okay, space the verb ago, and you hit the lemma button, okay, it'll find all the examples of these two words next to each other or within a certain distance of each other, okay, in Greek, right? This is interesting. Do you see
this is
all the forms of ago and all the forms of laos in combination with one another. There's the aorist participle, the imperfect of ago, and the accusative, the nominative, and so forth of laos, but in the vicinity of each other in a phrase, okay?
So without respect to distance or which one comes first.
Exactly. Okay. That can be
That's
very
interesting.
Useful. Yeah. So the lemmatized part of it is helpful as well as the collocation of the words, right?
Yeah, that's a great tool.
Yeah.
Let's see, what else?
I think we covered it.
That might
pretty
be
much all of it. Yeah.
A good basic introduction to this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we've generated some feedback for you to pass along.
Yes, exactly. And I'm gonna ask him about the way in which the slop amount isn't working. Okay. Find out what's going on with that. All right. We were able to reduce the amount of words that were coming up in between the words we were co-locating.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Well, thanks so much. That was very helpful.
It's worth playing with. I mean, not just the search facility in itself can be helpful, but I think it's a nice tool for reading. If you've got texts that you're relatively familiar with, and you can generating those word lists also. You can do that in Perseus, but you have to go through some complicated things, and you can probably to get them. So that's useful for
The
beginning
word list, you
students.
mean like in the lower right hand corner?
Exactly. So you could give somebody a piece of text. Here's a list of the words in it. Here's what they mean, and then it'll even tell you what their forms are. So you can
That's great
piece
for
together
teaching.
stuff if you don't know what you're talking about, right? And if you're just learning, right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. All right.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Thanks so
My
much.
pleasure.